honored to have been invited to deliver a keynote speech in this convention organized by Inuka and other civil society. And the theme is about from protest to renewal, reclaiming the soul of the nation. We know Kenya is at crossroads. We have a constitution, but we have leadership that behaves like they are not accountable to anyone. We have leadership that has forgotten the constitution. We have seen a regime that is acting with a lot of impunity. Protests have been criminalized. Extrajudicial killings have become the order of the day. Abductions, torture, and oppression of citizens. Right now, we have the cyber crimes law that was signed on the day Baba died. We have the Privatization Act. We have very many others, the Land Bill, and many other oppressive laws. When you look at it, free speech is being criminalized. Those laws are obviously unconstitutional because they go against the grain of the Constitution. And the Privatization Act is actually legalizing theft, if you like, of prime public assets. It is allowing the executive to sell under cover of darkness without public scrutiny. And this means that they'll pretend they're in the open market, but they're the ones taking away assets that belong to us. It is a time that we as citizens need to rise up, take up our agency in Article 1 of the Constitution, which gives us sovereign power. So as a collective, we must reclaim the soul of this nation, restore the constitutional order which has been abandoned, and begin to govern this country, or have this country governed in an accountable manner. And I am wondering, how many, if at all, of our members of parliament contributed to the bills or opposed them? Because if you are a parliamentarian and you did not oppose in parliament, you do not have the luxury to come and cry with us and tell us how that bill was oppressive. If you failed in your duty, and I'm saying that when there is a bill of national importance, at a time such as this, a member of parliament should even cut short a visit abroad, however lucrative, and come and fulfill the role of representation, of being a people's watchdog on public spending and even on bills that are being passed. So we need to look at those Hansards, ask ourselves, find out who stood with the people. If there was nobody, we call them out. If there is anybody who stood with the people, then we commend them so that we encourage others to follow suit. But we are not powerless, and we are saying the Gen Zs reminded us that we have agency ordained by the Constitution, and we can do something about it. We are here to talk about organizing, from protest to organizing to reclaim our republic.
Reclaiming the republic also can be translated to using Chapter 1 other than the legal process.
But Chapter 1 is a legal process, it's a constitutional process. Even when people demonstrate, that's so constitutional. We have seen Nepal. Was it Nepal where Sri Lanka? No, there is a recent one also, where the public expressed their will. They were able to oust the regime. And when the army tried to suggest who to take over, they resisted and named their own person. In Sri Lanka, they named Yunus. They didn't go to a referendum because there are people who ask, how do people exercise their agency? Social media is enough. The demands of the Gen Z were unequivocal. And to this day, we are talking of transparency and accountability. It is possible for people to exercise their agency without their elected representatives, because people carry the residue power with themselves. And that's what we are discussing here today. Yeah.
In the wake of this, you raised some issues in regards to how the election in the neighboring Tanzania is being undertaken.
Yeah.
We saw young people going to the streets in protest of how the electoral process has been handled. What's your take on this and any other update you know about this?
There is a general reawakening of citizens' conscience, and it is coming with the young people throughout. And all revolutions in history, even though they may be led by others, it is the young who are the majority participating and bringing change. And we have seen in Kenya the Gen Z movement. We saw that in Sri Lanka, in Nepal. Now we are seeing it in Tanzania. It is not unusual. Tanzania has been a closed place. You will remember that even when we went there to legitimately observe a case, we were deported. Now it is Tanzanian youth reclaiming their country and confirming to the world that yesterday there were no elections. Those were sham elections. It was Suluhu versus Samia. She was competing with her own shadow. Today, maybe now, it will be coronation saying she has won, while her main opponents are not only imprisoned, that is Tundu Lissu, his party Chadema, which is the main opposition party, did not participate because they were banned. So what elections were there? Maybe in Zanzibar, because ACT, that Wazalendo, is the stronger party, maybe there could have been elections, I don't know. But reports are that the army was everywhere. And there are reports which need to be confirmed about ballots being marked. Yesterday there were reports of a vehicle, an army vehicle interrupted by the youth on the mainland with pre-marked ballots. It is time for the African Union to serve the people of Africa, to stop being a club of leaders clinging to power, and to redirect its energies to helping citizens of Africa and to fulfilling its own charter, the African Charter on Civil and Political Rights. And the same with EAC and SADC. What are they doing for the people? Or they are behaving as though they were formed to serve those in power, not the people. We are calling upon them to pull their socks and do something positive.
In terms of human rights violation, has there been any concern?
Serious concern in East Africa. In Tanzania, it's the order of the day: disappearances, murder. You will remember last year there was Ali Kibao, an official of Chadema, removed from a bus. 2 hours later found dead and his body mutilated by acid. We have had so many disappearances. An activist, Mudude Nyagali, who disappeared in May. Ambassador Pole Pole, who was disappeared recently, and not a word about them. There have been deaths, abductions, and this is the same in Uganda. We are talking of Bob Jagi and Nicholas Oyo. A month ago, abducted from a petrol station in Uganda. There is a witness, a third Kenyan who was with them. So we know for sure they were taken by security forces of Uganda. Uganda security forces have lied in court, just like our own security forces here lie, denying that they have them. If it is not the army, then which branch of the security forces? Because it's security forces of Uganda. We are calling upon the leaders in East Africa, Samia Suluhu. We are calling on President Museveni, on William Ruto. Obey the constitutions of your countries and the Constitutive Act or the Treaty of East Africa and the African Charter, as well as international human rights law. Restore constitutional order in your countries and respect the human rights of your people. But calling also on us as citizens, let us reclaim our agency. When they regroup to oppress us, we must regroup to resist.